Greetings, trackers. Bear Tracker Nature Films here. And I found this bear scat here, and when I went over to look at it, I noticed a larger accumulation up here and a lot of indications of passage through here by bears. Now this is a lot larger than one scat right there, but what I see is from there, there's a trail that leads into that forested area there. And because of this large accumulation here, that tells me that there's going to be a bear bed in here somewhere under these trees. I would love to put a trail camera in there, but the bear's got a good approach here through the brush and the stickers and things like that. So let me show you the pathway here. See these divots in the soil here indicate a lot of travel through here. So there's one there, one here, here, over here, and so on. So this is indication that there have been multiple trips into and out of this area. So the bear definitely has a bed in there. This large accumulation of scat right here is multiple deposits, and there was another one that I just showed you down there. Coming up here further, you can see how deeply some of these are worn into the landscape. So this definitely has been used a lot. And further in there, you can see more scats, kind of on the edge of the forest. So this bear has a bed in there, and I'm going to try to go around from the back and see if I can set a trail camera, because there's nothing out here to set it on. And I'd love to be able to see the bear on its bed, but they don't use these things forever, so it's just, you know, they use it for a while and then they abandon it. And I think I see right in here, and the lighting is very difficult right now, but there's a scooped out area right in there, and that's probably the bed just on the edge here. So if I can get in there, I'll film it for you. Otherwise, I'll try to set a trail camera here. But I'm seeing that scooped out area, and then I see a fallen branch right there that's upside down, which could indicate the bear was using that material to make a mattress, which they do, to sleep on. Okay, so I got in under the trees to the left, and there is a trail going this way, and goes further into the brush. And behind me is what I think was possibly used as the bed. Here's the scat I was showing you. And then there is a little trail going in here. And you can see that some of the vegetation was knocked down. So I'm going to pick this up here. This is a redwood branch that was separated from the tree right there. It's still green, so that's fairly recent sign. And then right here you have this scooped out area. And unfortunately the lighting's terrible, but you can see this one here, but there's the one back there that's more indicative of bear use, and this right here. So I'm seeing 3 scooped out areas. 2 of these look old. So this first one, which I'm going to come in here, you can see right there, does not show signs of recent use. And this one does not show signs of recent use. So the other thing that you can see here is there's tons of evidence on this tree. So there's a cluster of 2 redwood trees here, and they've been shredded. The bark has been pulled off, and this is why. So see this right here? And what you can see behind it is all that scat accumulated over there as well. This is like a little nest. And because bears are shorter than me, I'm having a hard time getting in here, but there's the bear's bed. So that's what I would love to target with a trail camera, but it's going to be difficult because, you know, if I put it on this tree, which is the only tree here, the bear's going to see it and play with the camera. So this shows evidence of past use, maybe last year, maybe the year before. The tree itself definitely shows evidence that bears have been scraping on it, and you can see all the... Okay, so noticing here that these branches have been broken, here and here. That one looks old, this one looks more recent. This one has been broken. You can see the broken branches here and here. And then I was going to try and get in here and show you the bed itself. Give me a moment here. I'll have to edit this out because I'm going to crash through here. Whoops. Remember, I'm not as short as the bear, and I have to go through here upright. So, ow. Getting poked by a redwood branch. Ow. Okay. Jeez. Alright, so noticing these right here, the green branches from the redwood that have been recently added to this mattress. So This is all the mattress that the bear made out of the shredded redwood bark here. So it made this beautiful rounded out little bed here, has its nice mattress, and all this material here was scraped off the tree. And you can see right through here a trail leading outwards into a foraging area. So it's got a super secret little trail that goes under the brush there. And I showed you the other trail a moment ago that departs the other direction. And there are the third trail, the one I came in on, that way. So this is a black bear's bed, and this is a nice one. And I'm climbing in here because obviously the bear is not here, but I wanted to show you this because this is really cool. And I'm all tangled up in redwood branches. So here's the scat accumulation. So as the bear departs for the day, wakes up, stretches, stands up, deposits a scat on that pile, and then wanders out to go do his day of foraging, and then comes back in the evening and goes to sleep, or whenever they do. So this is the bed itself. Perfectly nice little bowl shape there, made all out of redwood bark and redwood branches. That's a 3-inch ruler. So you can see this beautiful bear bed. It's got his little bathroom over there. Got the bed here, got a little exit here. Got his material here for the mattress. And this whole trunk of this tree shows that the bear has been shredding it. Because this stuff's really fibrous. It's nice and insulative. And it comes out in kind of this stringy looking stuff. So this is redwood bark. It's a coast redwood. And the bears love this for their nesting. Excuse me, making their beds. And you can just see copious claw marks where the bear just ripped the bark off here to obtain it to use to sleep on. Okay, right there, that has been untouched. That's the normal appearance of redwood bark. And compare that to this, that's been shredded. You can see claw marks in there, and you can just see a lot of damage to the tree. The tree is not dead. This tree has a cambium layer, which is down here. This is the layer under the bark, and the heartwood is inside of that. The living part of the tree is the cambium that transports water and materials up to the leaves. Okay, so I'm going to back out of here. I don't want to leave too much scent. I want the bear to use it again because, you know, a beautiful sight like this, the bear put a lot of work into it, and I don't have any right to chase him off his bed. So, and it looks like it was used in the past. So I'm going to go back out the way I came, which was this way. But all the way out, you can see there are knocked down branches from the redwood tree where the bear has been gathering material for his nest or bed. And there's some scat over here also, another accumulation. And let me show you over here. I have to grab my pack. But you can see the trail coming in here, how well worn each of these footsteps are. So the bear is using this repeatedly over and over, and whoops, I'm getting tangled in stuff. So you can see these well-worn steps here. This is the entrance that I came in, which has a very well-worn trail going into it. And then there was this one. There's the scat here. Another accumulation, the bear's bathroom, if you will. And then through here was another trail that leaves this area and goes to one of his foraging areas. So you can see a well-worn pathway through here with worn steps into the ground. And I'm not going to go that way because I don't want to leave all kinds of scent. I'm already doing too much. So, there you go. That's a bear's bed. He's right on the edge of a field, and the grass is green, and the bears are feeding on it. That's what's in his scat right now, is a lot of grass. It is the beginning of spring, and it's been a really hard winter. A lot of rain and snow, and so the bears are feeding on grass right now. And there's the original pile of scat that clued me in that there was a bear's bed in here. One thing to note here is there's some stuff from last year. So this is old scat from last year with the berries in it, because no berries are ripe right now. And the rest of this on top is all grass, and that's all new from this spring. There's the 3-inch ruler, so to give you a size estimate on that accumulation of scat right there. But that was a quick look at a bear's bed and how they construct them and how they live. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, right here I've come out of the sort of little trail that led me into the bear's bed area, and there's 3 scats here right at sort of the entrance to that area. So there's a little frog right there. Oh, he hopped away. Anyway, 3 bear scats, all made out of grass, and a very well-worn trail coming through here that led me to this location. So a tree has come down across the bear's regular trail, and this was a major intersection right here for them. But it looks like they're still using this area because they've developed a trail through here, and you can see signs of a lot of use here. And there, and there, and there. So they're definitely still using this trail and making a good path for a human to go through too. Right through here. Thankfully no poison oak, but you can see the clear divots here where the bears have been stepping. So they are absolutely still using this trail, and there's a scat right there and a scat over there. So they're definitely still coming through here, even though the tree has fallen on their trail. So here's a scat, and there's a scat right there. So the bear's bed that we were at is the trees that are behind this big one right here. So those 2 large trees there, and the little path that I showed you coming out through the north comes out of the brush here. And this is what I found here at the end of it. A bear has been opening up a log, and they do this to feed on things that live inside the log. Larvae, grubs, ants, things like that. So the other animal that can do similar damage in this region is the pileated woodpecker. But when you find pileated woodpecker sign, you're not going to find huge chunks of wood, and you're not going to see evidence that the log itself was rolled as a whole. So this log was resting right here. This end was attached to that end, and the bear rolled the whole thing. And you can see over here where the log was resting in that little groove. So the bear has moved this entire log and rolled it to open it up and see what it could find edible inside of there. And what you see in here is this sort of thing, beetle galleries. So this is where the larvae of different species of beetles are burrowing through this wood, and the bear will open up the log and get at them and eat them. So you can see some claw marks here, if it'll focus. You can see claw marks here and here where the bear ripped this open. The rest of this is actually not claw marks. These are the galleries from the beetle larva being in there. And so this is a typical feeding sign of bears when they open up logs. And here's a little close-up here of that path that exited the bear's bed towards the northeast. And back there you can see the trunk of the large tree that the bear's bed rests at the base of. You can see evidence in here of passage with knocked over branches and things. And the ferns are starting to grow now, so that's going to obscure this sign pretty soon. But this was opened by a black bear, so just further evidence that the bear is around here and searching out food sources. So here's where the bear's trail is coming out of that bed site. And this is actually very smart on the bear's part because he's coming through here. So this entire pile of branches is very brittle, and anyone approaching that bear's bed from this direction is going to crunch through this stuff and make a lot of noise. And over here at the base of that big tree, that's where the bed is. So remember the big redwood with the one next to it? That's where it is. So remember I showed you that path heading off towards the south. This is where it ends up. And I'm not going to try to go through this because, you know, that's pretty rough footing. But you can see where the bear has been going through here. There's crushed and freshly broken branches in here, and you can see the little path where the bear has been coming and going through this direction. So if you're a bear and you don't want to be disturbed, remember on the other side there was a lot of berry vines and things that I had to go through to get to that bed. And then from this direction, if someone's approaching, that bear is going to hear them coming and be able to escape out the other direction. So remember, bears are cautious and intelligent animals, and so this sort of thing is what you find. Their bed sites are fairly secure and safe, and they don't want some predators sneaking up on them, especially if it's a mom bear that has cubs. So she wants to keep those cubs safe. So something like this, where there's a built-in sort of a warning system for the bear, this will create an alarm. It'll create a noise as whatever critter is trying to approach from this direction steps on these branches. So this is the back side of that bear's bed, and the bed is up there in the brush, maybe 50 feet away. Here's more evidence of that black bear whose sign we've been following today. And this log is pretty rotten, but the bear has opened it up in the search for food. And you can tell this was the bear because there's large chunks that were removed here. Now there is some woodpecker sign on here, so let's go look at the difference here. The woodpecker sign is these holes. So the pileated woodpecker is a fairly large woodpecker, and it can easily make holes this size in a log. That's not a problem. There's another log down there that you can see, and you can also see a regularly used bear trail going through here. You can tell there are divots in the forest stuff. So for some reason the bear made a regular trail there, but this amount of damage is beyond what the woodpeckers do. And also removing chunks that are this size is beyond the strength even of a large woodpecker. So this stuff is heavy, 5 pounds or so, and here's a big chunk with a claw mark in it, if the camera will focus. Come on. It's a little bright. Let's put it in the shade. There. Now you can see the claw mark where a claw was raked across it as the bear removed this from the tree. So they're after things that live in the wood in these little galleries here. And a bear has a very flexible tongue that allows it to lap them up and eat them as it opens up the log. So this is foraging sign from a black bear. So I found this log interesting, and this is in contrast to the black bear sign that you just saw a moment ago on the other log. And notice that there are holes in the wood, but this is sawdust. It's not huge chunks of wood being removed here. So this is the sign of that pileated woodpecker, our largest woodpecker around here. They stand at least 12 inches tall, quite large, and they have a very strong beak, and they're able to get into the wood of these old logs. So here's your scale, 3 inches. And when you see holes like this that are just cut out of the wood, this is more... Oh. That's his call. It might not be audible on the camera here. Anyway, I'm hearing a pileated woodpecker calling. But the difference between the woodpecker sign and the bear sign is the amount of damage and the size of the chunks that are removed. So these little chunks are nothing compared to what you saw over there with the bear. You know, they're just little bits, almost sawdust. And so this is the work of the woodpecker rather than the bear here. They're after the same sort of things. They're looking for ants and grubs, larvae, all kinds of tasty little things that they can eat that are inside of this wood as this log rots back into the soil. And here's the other log that I showed you a moment ago when I was over at the original one, which is right there. And this one is also bear work. The log itself was moved. You can see the bark right here, and the log has been rolled out of the way, and it's not lightweight. So this was work done by the bear, and it has really shredded this and pretty thoroughly eaten whatever was inside. those tasty little grubs and things. So here's part of it. And you can see a claw mark right here. And here, there's an ant right there. Those would be tasty if you were a bear. So this is a lot of work. And the reason they're after this stuff right now is it's spring and there are very few other foods available this time of year. There's buds and catkins on trees. There's the logs. There's grass, vegetation, and things like that. But none of the berries or nuts are available yet. So bears are concentrating on things like this. And here's again some confirming sign with those claw marks there. Size-wise, if I can find the ruler, I'll put a ruler here for you. So you can see those claw marks and how big they are. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe a fifth right there. But those are some claw marks. So when you want to identify which critter did it, it's helpful to find some confirming sign like that. Although when you have something that is as massive in scale as this, it's kind of easy to rule out something as small as the woodpecker.